I am Professor Y. Pardasarathi, Head Department of Public Policy and Public Administration, Central University of Jammu, Jammu. For example, you take about a classical school again, Max Weber. He is the man actually has given 3 ideal types of authorities. Max Weber, who is a man created the structure of bureaucracy, not the word of bureaucracy, created the structure of bureaucracy, where now all over the world, all governments and organizations are following the same thing. But how he has given what is according to him, what is an authority? He has given about 3 ideal types of authorities. And he says, authority is a universal phenomena. According to the Max Weber, authority is a universal phenomena. According to him, what is public administration? According to him, public administration is authority. What is authority? He says ultimately, authority means domination. Authority means domination. Is like one of the classical school of the system. Authority is between the ruler and ruled. Authority is a domination in the old systems are concerned. So Weber actually defined authority into 3 types. Number 1, he defined as a traditional authority. What is a traditional authority? As we discussed in the first part of the lecture, traditional authority is that some of the ethical and moral aspects are involved. Traditions are involved. Why? If cigarette smoking is wrong, but your father asks you to go and bring a cigarette packet, you will go and bring it. And you will tell him, cigarette smoking is wrong. But you can't tell him, cigarette smoking is not correct, that's why I am not bringing. You can't say that. You will accept him. You will go and bring it. So this is a traditional authority. There is an ethical value that you are respecting your father and his things, and you are doing. Though you are interested or not interested, the ethical aspects and moral value systems, whatever it is there, ultimately it is going to happen about that. In a traditional authority, people values legitimacy comes from the beliefs and traditions. What is the sanctity? Belief and tradition. You will go to a bus, the old man has come, without unconsciously will get up and ask him to sit. Why? There is some type of a value. A pregnant lady has entered into a bus, you will offer a seat her to sit. Why? Because it has come the legitimacy of sanctity from the traditions and the beliefs. And the leader under that type of authority and that type of a system exercise authority by virtue of status he is inherited. Whatever king's decision was final. Decision is final. Nobody will question. King is a king. That's it. Nobody will question it. Because the ruler is obeyed because of traditions are demand. The king is accepted. The prime minister is accepted. And everything is happened because traditions are dominated. Ethics are dominated. The another important aspect of it is, he said another ideal model after traditional authority, charismatic authority. What is charisma? Charisma is some of the, not exactly we say the supernatural power. Some people are having some type of a power. This power, according to the Max Weber, it is not going to come by birth. The supernatural power is not going to come by birth. Because in some type of a psychological situation, whenever you are weak, you are going to be attached to a person's words. Then you believe him. Or whenever a society is in a crisis, wherever a society is in a crisis, all the people are crying because of something happening. Then somebody will come and tell something, and he will preach a new things, and it is going to be proved or something happen. The whole society follows him. In a crisis of a situation, charisma is going to be born, according to the Max Weber. It is not that a person is born with a ultra supernatural powers, that's why he is dictating. Not at all. In the societal systems, somebody will grown up like that and his charisma will go on. Hitler dominated the Germany, and he was the reason for the wars and the reason for many things. But he was having a charisma in the German society. Even now the people who follows Nazi party and his rulers was one of the great failures, great rulers at the time and all these things. Though the whole world says Hitler is wrong. Hitler was wrong and doing the things at all. Like that, Stalin was having, it's a communist ruling system and other things. Stalin was also, because he won the war and he protected the Russia and other thing it has given to him. Even Mrs. Indira Gandhi was the Prime Minister of India, was a Garibi Hatao, this type of things, 20-point program. She has brought new things that people believe that and believed that she is then a messiah for the society of a downtrodden and other things. Some of the cinema heroes, they got a charisma because of their actions, and they came to the real life like an MGR, like N.T. Ramarao, even like Jayalalitha. They have some charismatic authority. In this charismatic authority, they are going to enjoy one authority, with that they use their power to control the people. This authority is also accepted in the society. The follower here, he just follows this authority and believes and accepts the boss. He never questioned it. Here, the authoritical system is going to be a master-servant relation almost. In a traditional authority, master-follower, different type of system. In a charismatic authority, the charisma is like that. They just follow the master. No other questions about it. Whatever he says, it's final. Whatever he said, it's only. You can see the lot of religious leaders, lot of other clan leaders, and they say that earth is going to complete by so and so date. All the people will come and stand on a particular hill. The people will go. They have a charisma. So they believe him that whatever he says. So these type of things, according to the Max Weber, charismatic authority is another model of authority. Third model of authority, Max Weber talks about legal authority. What is a legal authority? Legal authority means according to the rules and regulations, the authority was given. Your authority is not in a traditional, like a moral and ethical value based. Your authority is not like a charismatic, that you have some natural powers you can control and other things, or created some type of a heroic systems. It is a rules and regulations. The rules and regulations means that in a system of accepted authority, a ruler is basically based on the rule of law which provided or giving authority to him. A teacher is delivering a lecture. At a particular time between 10 to 11 o'clock, a legal authority has provided him to teach so-and-so class. He is teaching in the class. There is a rule behind it. A principal is appointed for a college from so-and-so date, so-and-so date, so-and-so year to so-and-so year. After that, he is a normal man. Another man will come and take over the seat. A prime minister is elected by the people, and that's why he is there, is sworn in as a prime minister and continue. In the next election, if somebody is going to be elected, he is going to come and occupy the seat. Why? All these happening because of the rules, regulations, constitution, systematized methods of it. You cannot do it all. Like it's a game, you have to play a game in between. In a carom board, somebody is playing a white coins, you are taking a black coins, and you have to play like that. The rule is created. Game, otherwise there is no game. So the same way is here that, and at the same time, obedience to the law, obedience to the rule is an important legally established impersonal order. Not only rule, Max Weber says the whole structure of the bureaucratic system works on the basis on impersonal order. You are respecting and receiving the orders of the chair. The person who is sitting in the chair is immaterial. You are respecting the chair. People will come and go. The chair is going to be occupied by somebody. We are respecting the chair. This is one of the important aspects of authority, actually was developed by the Max Weber. He called it an impersonal order. This was one of the innovative aspects. You are taking orders from a principal, you are taking orders from a manager, you are taking orders from a general manager or a chief executive. The person is immaterial, order is important. How the order is coming? Order is coming from the position. How the position is coming? How the position is there? The position is based on rules and regulations and etc. etc. This is the Max Weber in his bureaucratic structure said authority is like this. Whereas another important personality like Mary Parker Follett, she differed with this traditional theory of authority. She criticized both method and substance of issuing orders. She has said, Mary Parker Follett actually has written about authority, responsibility, coordination, and conflicts in organization and etc. She believes that a manager's job is not just giving orders. A manager's job is to manipulate workers to accept it. That is the duty. And she believed that there should be unity among the people whoever work in the organization. Otherwise, organization is not going to be successful. And authority is not belongs to a person. Largely, it is an organization. Everybody has to take the orders from the created situation. And she says that if a mother is asking the son to go and bring the water, and son is playing very much serious about that, and he denies and declines. Whereas instead of shouting on him, mother has to create a situation until unless you are not bringing the water, I am not going to cook and we are not going to eat, then it's going to be delay for your school. The explanation of authority, the explanation of order, which is going to be accepted by the everybody in the organization. So Mary Parker Follett has created, she said about the important aspect of authority is not just issuing an order. You have to be unity of a group. You have to take the orders from a situation, and the manager's duty is to create a situation without a questioning of the order. That is the success of the manager is concerned. Another important man is a Chester Bernard. He said, acceptance on the basis of theory of authority. First, as I said, he defines authority as the character of an order in a formal organization by virtue of which it is accepted by a contributor or a member of organization. So he says he is not a member, he is a contributor to the organization. What is a contributor of organization? This is because he is contributing, you are contributing, that's why organizational system is working. According to him, authority is a matter of acceptance. It is not a domination by somebody. A superior and subordinate. Until unless a subordinate is not accepting your order, there is no value for your authority. So your duty is to create an order, to create a situation that he has to accept order. Because this comes about Chester Bernard's important aspect of this authority. According to him, authority is just a myth. You are thinking that you are having a power and you are having authority, everything. It is a myth. What he says is communication will be accepted if it is authoritative. Whenever if an authority is there, you have to be a clear communication system. And when the people are going to accept authority based on the four important aspects. Number one, their intelligence. Are they able to understand exactly what is there? Intelligence. Then the order is consistency with the purpose of organization. We are working for an organization, whether your order is consistency with the purpose of organization. And two, is it a compatibility with the interest of the personal interest? And the four, physical and mental ability to comply. So number one, a person will accept authority when his intelligence, he is able to understand it. Two, consistency with the purpose of organization. Three, compatibility with the personal interest. Four, physical and mental ability to comply. Otherwise, people are not going to accept authority. This is what actually Chester Bernard explains in the how to understand the authority. So he says about, Bernard in addition says about whenever authorities, there is a zone of indifference. Acceptance of authority is based on the zone of indifference. That because in a particular situation, for each and every person, there is a zone. Acceptable zone, unacceptable zone. So he's not going to accept it. He's unacceptable for him. So he will enter to a zone of indifference. So the duty of the manager, duty of the executive is that identify a particular situation that he is going to obey the orders. Further, he says, instead of a formal organization, you can create an informal organization in the organization. Through that, you can influence the person, accepts the orders of the authority. Again, another important personality in continuity of the Chester Bernard, Herbert Simon. He said that authority is a relationship between two individuals, one superior and other is subordinate. Fine. But he said, expanding and extending the concept of the Chester-Bernard's authority, the zone of acceptance, the zone of indifference. A person is indifferent, you have to pull him to the accepting thing. Whereas Simon says, there are 4 basic motivations of subordinates to accept the orders of the superior. Number 1, he says about the rewards and sanctions. So you'll give that, if you do this work, you're going to be rewarded, you're going to be sanctioned. Legitimacy, as Chester-Bernard said, as per the orders of the organization is concerned. Social approval, the group which is going to be accepted, and subordinates' confidence in superior's ability, the acceptance. Because once boss is giving an order, how the subordinate accepts? He has to have a confidence on the ability of the superior also. Some of the organizations just he declares, all the people will accept it. Why? Because they accept the superior's ability. He is an intelligent man, he is a wise man, he is a visionary, then he is giving all these things, let us work for it. Nowadays, even in political system, and we are seeing that president is a visionary, and in some other countries, our president is a visionary, he is giving this type of a thing, we have to work for it. Our prime minister is a visionary, we have to work for it. These type of things also created in this country, that they believe that he is a visionary, he is a capable, he is man, understand about, and he will take the country to one point to another point very perfectly. So these are the important aspect of the understanding of authority by the various scholars. In continuity of the Mary Parker Follett, Chester-Bernard and Herbert Simon's authority, explanations and definitions on authority, you can see the Adjoni's argument on the authority. He says authority is a key variable in the organizational behavior. He says that there are three kinds of authority is going to be there: coercive authority, normative authority, utilitarian authority. So he ultimately says that the normative authority is the most important one, because you have to convince the people and do. Because of the domination, authority is not going to be accepted. Because of a threatening, the people may accept, but the result and efficiency is not going to be the understandable and acceptable the point. So utilitarian authority, it is going to be useful for the people. Utilitarianism, authority is going to be utilitarianism in the things. So the normative and utilitarianism authority is explained by the Adjoni in his writings of the on authority. At the same time, we can identify 3 different types of authorities also. Number 1, line authority. Line authority means line agency, staff agency. These are the things we have studied in public administration, in various part of the principles of administration. What is a line authority? A person who is working straight away in organization. Like that they say, a military person who is fighting in the border. That's where we have taken a line agency from the military to the public administration. So line authority, the person directly working with the people, he is a ground man, he is taking care of the each and everything of it. Then you take a staff authority. Staff authority is another important point of authority, where the data and the research data and everything of organization is going to be given by the organization. A staff agency means a supply agency, means it is going to give a suggestions, it is going to give a recommendations, it is going to give a opinions of the important aspects of it. Then what is the functional authority? The functional authority which is there in organization according to the rules and functions of the systems are concerned. So there is authority is divided. Line authority is a different one, where a person is working on the ground directly, is taking care of the things. Staff authority, staff is a supply chain, give the data like a research, a policy things and how the things are happening. Functional authority, where the people are working, there is a relation between the one to another one, is a functional authority. These are the 3 authorities also the part of it.